Boys and girls, Miss Tabor back with another lesson from our leveled literacy intervention that I have permission to use from Heinemann. We have 3 parts to this lesson today. There's going to be 2 word work parts and then a new story. I really enjoy the story that we're going to have today, as it is a series and we have not heard many stories from this series, so it's really exciting for me to share more familiar characters with you all. So let's go ahead and get started with our first word work part. This carries on from the last lesson that we did working with digraphs. Digraphs are when 2 letters are together and they make one special sound. So let's take a look at our chart from last time. We worked on the digraph SH that makes the sh sound, like in the word she. Shovel, ship, shoe, and should. The other digraph we worked on was CH, making the ch sound, like in chair, chip, change, check, and children. Today we're going to be working on the digraph TH, like in this word, the. TH is a really tricky digraph because it actually can make 2 different sounds. Right now we're going to focus on the th sound, like the. I'm going to make some other words that begin with that th digraph. This, then, they, there, like way over there, and the other there, like it's they own something. Whoops. And lastly, them. So I want you to read those quickly for yourself and really feel that tickle that your tongue makes when it touches the back of your teeth. Okay? This, then, they, there, and them. Now, the other sound that TH can make is what we call a soft sound. You still stick your tongue out between your teeth, kind of to the back of your teeth, and you put a breath through, like in the word 3. I'm going to put a number here so then we can think about that to make sure we remember. There aren't very many words that I'm going to include in this column today, but thinking about that soft TH sound. Think. Oh, didn't I just say that? I really didn't mean it. Think and thing. Okay, those 2 sounds, those 2 words both begin with that digraph. Remember, the TH digraph can make 2 sounds. That's what we want to remember from this lesson. Okay, now I want to show you my board. So this is something a little bit new. I'm going to show you my magnetic board, and I just have to make a couple adjustments. So here's my board. I'm going to build a couple words and change some of the words. So this is just working on word patterns and building new words from familiar words. I'm going to make the word even. I can listen to the sounds E, V, N, which is 2 parts. Okay, here's the word even. Sorry, that part was kind of hidden by that little screen. Even. Now I'm going to change it to make the word ever. Notice the beginning sound actually changed. The E went from saying E, now it says ever. Now we're going to build on from this word. So ever, we're going to make it never. Super job. So we took even, we changed it to ever, and now we made never. Now we're going to go over a completely different part of a word. Let me just put those letters back so when I need them again, I can find them easily. The next part, the words start with an A. Now, I went over this a little bit ago where the A can make two different sounds in the beginning. It can either say that A sound, or sometimes when we're speaking more quickly, it says But here's the word. As I build it, see if you can read it. If you said again or again, great job. You got it. We're going to change this word with using just the beginning. And we're going to make it this. See if you can read that word. You can say this A is A, or you can say I'm going to break it into two parts. I know this little word, way, a way, or a way. So again, we had again, I just said that twice, that's funny, or away. One last set of words. I'm going to start with this little word, up. I'm going to move that over. And then the word set. Let's push those together to make a compound word. Upset. Super. Now we'll put that to the side. Now we've done a little word work warm-up. We're going to go ahead and get to that story that I mentioned. It is an animal fantasy. It is a series. And remember, animal fantasies are when the animals have human characteristics. They talk, they have conversation, they have feelings and emotions. Now, based on all of those things that I just said, is this fiction or nonfiction? I bet you can guess pretty much when I said animals talking. It is a fictional story. So take a look. It is a series. I'm not sure if you remember this, but this is our series. It's the Moosling series. This is a really enjoyable story. Our friend Moosling is our main character, hence the series is named after him. And you can tell by the front cover, there are a bunch of animals just, I don't know, crawling all over him or pulling on his poor tail, or maybe this one's bending his leg funny, but it seems like he doesn't mind too much. We read one other Moosling story a long time ago. It was a picnic in the rain, and I remember that it was raining and all of the animals, I think, were wanting to have a picnic, and in the end, Moosling, with his giant antlers, held the blanket over top, and or the animals sat underneath him, and he covered them from the rain because he is so big. So let's go ahead and take a look. I am going to read this story to you. I want you to pause it when you can and reread the pages after I do, or at the very end when I'm finished. I want you to think about some humor or things that are funny in this story, and also really focus on the dialogue between the characters. That's when the characters are talking, and we know that by seeing the quotation marks that surround the words of what the characters are saying. Okay, let's go. Moosling the Babysitter. Moosling liked baby animals, and baby animals loved Moosling. He let them climb up his legs. He let them ride on his back. He let them hang on his antlers. He never got mad. He never shouted. He made sure the little ones did not get hurt. Mothers and fathers asked Moosling to babysit all the time. One day, Skunk asked Moosling to watch the little skunks. Moosling said yes. He liked the baby skunks. They never ran away or climbed too high or fell in the pond. They just followed Moosling in a line like good little skunks. Moosling's, I think, thinking, this is not so bad, it's going to be easy. You can tell by his thinking bubble. Oh, here are those quotation marks I was talking to you about. That means within these quotation marks, someone is speaking, and if I look carefully, I can see who said it. So we need to think about when we read, how should that sound? You have to be careful, said Skunk. Don't make them mad and don't scare them. You know why, don't you? Moosling did know why. I wonder why the author made the word did slanted or italicized. He really wanted you to say this word with expression. Moosling did know why. Do you know why you shouldn't make skunks mad or scared? I hope Moosling really does know why. Skunks, even little skunks, can make a very, very bad smell when they are upset. Did you hear my phrasing and pausing when I read that big sentence? These hyphens or these dashes means it wants you to pause a tiny bit. Also the comma, pause a little bit. And then the author wrote bad in all uppercase letters and bold, which means you really need to say that word strong. Okay, listen to that again. Skunks, even little skunks, can make a very, very bad smell when they are upset. I will not make them mad, and I would never scare them, said Moosling. Then he and the little skunks began to play. Oh no! Skunk went off down the road, but he did not get far. Oh no, he said. I forgot to tell Moosling one very important thing. He ran back. Moosling, Moosling, he called. I forgot to tell you something. You can tell the illustrator really added these motion movements in the pictures. He must really be in a hurry. I wonder if you can guess what's going to happen. Do you think that the skunk will be able to get back to Moosling in time for something to not bad happen? Don't sing, said Skunk. Uh-oh. But it was too late. Moosling smelled very bad for a long time, but the baby animals didn't mind. They loved him too much to stay away. The end. I want to go back to this page. Now, the author did not use very many words on this page. And the author actually never said that the skunks, the baby skunks, sprayed Moosling. All they wrote on this page was, well, that the parent skunk said, don't sing. And then the illustration shows that Moosling was singing, which is against what Skunk said. And then the author just wrote, but it was too late. That's when you, as the reader, have to think really carefully, wait a minute, what actually happened that the author did not tell us? Looking at the illustrations, what happened? Inferring. So we can assume that Moosling got sprayed by the baby skunks because it said it was too late. And then on the next page, it does say that Moosling smelled very, very bad for a long time, which then obviously tells us that he did get sprayed. But the author did not tell us that clearly from the text. The illustrator showed that, and the author said it kind of in a roundabout way. So I hope you enjoyed that book about Moosling. I do have another Moosling book for you in our next lesson. It's going to be an easier text, so I'm not going to read it to you, but it's going to have our great character Moosling, and it'll be really nice to see him again. When you read, again, reread this story. Really work on that expression when you're reading, especially when we see the talking marks or the quotation marks. Those are really important to emphasize while you're reading. Think about when you watch TV or a movie. You don't want the characters speaking slow and boring, because then you would not be interested in that show or that movie. You would think it wasn't very good. So really practice on how you sound when you read. The first time you read might be slower and a little choppier because you have to decode the words and read them, but think about all of the strategies that we've talked about, word patterns and word parts. If you know this word, you can read other ones that look the same. Thinking about the text is really important. If you're thinking carefully when you're reading, the words will be much easier. The story will also be very enjoyable. So I can't wait to share the next Moosling story with you, and I'll see you soon.